Imagine being 9 months pregnant, just hours away from meeting your baby for the very first time, while your family waits excitedly at the hospital for the moment a new life enters the world. But instead of arriving to give birth, you suddenly vanish without a trace. And 3 days later, police discover your car sitting silently in a quiet parking lot with a horrifying scene inside. This is the tragic story of 18-year-old Savannah Nicole Soto. Savannah lived in San Antonio, Texas, and despite her young age, she was excited about becoming a mother, preparing for the arrival of her baby boy with her 22-year-old boyfriend Matthew Guerra, and the couple had already chosen a name for him, Fabian. As Christmas approached in 2023, Savannah's due date had already passed, so doctors scheduled an induction for the morning of December 23rd at Stone Oak Methodist Hospital, and early that morning Savannah's family gathered. They're filled with excitement, expecting the young couple to arrive any minute. But the minutes passed, then the hours, and Savannah never showed up. At first the family assumed something simple had delayed them, maybe traffic or oversleeping, but repeated phone calls went straight to voicemail and Matthew couldn't be reached either. And as the day went on, the excitement inside the hospital slowly turned into fear. By the afternoon, Savannah's family reported her missing, launching a desperate search that spread quickly across social media and local news stations because a pregnant woman disappearing just days before Christmas shocked the entire community. Meanwhile, police conducted a welfare check at the apartment Savannah and Matthew shared in Leon Valley, but what they found inside only deepened the mystery because everything looked completely normal. Savannah's purses were hanging neatly on the wall, their belongings were untouched, and on the kitchen counter a scented candle was still burning softly, making it seem as though the couple had simply stepped out for a short errand and planned to return home soon, yet they never did. For 3 agonizing days the families waited and searched for answers while Christmas passed in fear and uncertainty, until on December 26th a resident at an apartment complex called Kaz at Medical Apartments noticed a grey Kia Optima that had been parked in the same spot for days, a car that looked very similar to the one mentioned in the missing persons alert. And when police arrived and approached the vehicle, they soon realized something was terribly wrong. Inside the car, Savannah Soto sat motionless in the passenger seat while Matthew Guerra was in the back seat, and both of them were dead. The discovery instantly turned a missing persons case into a homicide investigation, and investigators soon learned that Savannah had been shot in the back of the head while Matthew had also been fatally shot. And resting on Savannah's lap was the baby car seat the couple had planned to use when they brought their newborn son home from the hospital. Evidence suggested the shooting had happened days earlier while Savannah's family had been desperately searching for her. And even more heartbreaking was what medical examiners later revealed. Savannah's injury might not have caused immediate death, meaning there was a possibility that if help had reached them sooner, either she or her unborn son might have been saved. As detectives began digging deeper into the case, they discovered clues pointing toward a robbery because Matthew was known to deal marijuana and sometimes showed off cash and jewelry on social media, a lifestyle investigators believed may have made him a target. Then surveillance footage from the apartment complex provided a crucial clue. Late on the night of December 21st, St. Matthew's Kia entered the parking lot and moments later a pickup truck followed, and a man stepped out of the truck and approached the car before both vehicles moved to the far corner of the lot where the Kia was eventually found. And after a short time the truck drove away, leaving the Kia parked behind. Police released the footage to the public, hoping someone might recognize the man. And soon investigators identified him as 53-year-old Ramon Prasado, whose 19-year-old son Christopher had been in contact with Matthew earlier that night. Christopher told police he had arranged to meet Matthew to buy marijuana but claimed the situation spiraled out of control when Matthew allegedly pulled a gun on him and a struggle inside the vehicle caused the weapon to fire accidentally, killing both victims. Yet detectives quickly noticed major inconsistencies between that story and the physical evidence because the trajectory of the bullets and the position of the bodies suggested something far more deliberate had happened. Investigators also discovered that after the killings, someone had returned to Savannah and Matthew's apartment using a key taken from the victims and searched through their belongings looking for valuables. And when police searched the Prasado family home, they found a .380 caliber handgun hidden in a locked closet. Ballistics testing confirmed it was the weapon used in the murders, and 3 bullets were missing from the gun, the same number fired inside the car, while pawnshop records revealed that jewelry belonging to Matthew had been sold shortly after the killings. On January 3, 2024, Christopher Prasado was arrested and charged with 3 counts of capital murder for the deaths of Savannah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and Savannah's unborn son Fabian. And 2 years later, when the case went to trial, prosecutors argued that the evidence showed a robbery that escalated into execution, while the defense insisted the shooting had been accidental. But after hearing the testimony and reviewing the evidence, the jury reached its verdict quickly. Christopher Prachado was found guilty on all 3 counts of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For Savannah's family, the verdict brought some justice, but could never erase the tragedy because Savannah never got to meet her baby boy. Fabian never got the chance to take his first breath, and what should have been a joyful day, welcoming a new life, instead became a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly violence can destroy an entire future.